Good evening, everybody. I thought I'd do a little bit of this since it's been a while. And I guess at the same time, while I'm at it, I can showcase this a little bit. These yellow vests. This is actually not something that I was provided with. Turns out I had it already. Anybody remember the yellow vests? Because that was part of something I was thinking of doing back in the past. But of course you didn't come here to find out about my past, or whether I'm not adhering to health and safety. No, I wanted to talk about the ECHR and the fact that these guys are not fit for purpose. And by that I mean the European Court of Human Rights, or like the European Court of Human Shite. But I digress. These people up in the court basically have rule over the United Kingdom, whether some of us want to believe it or not. Now, why do I say this? I say this because more often than not, we have illegal immigrants coming over here, usually Islamic, from third world shitholes, bluntly speaking, who basically come over here with the sole intention of committing crime and sponging off the system. These people are being protected by the courts in Europe. Basically, we're being told that to deport these fuckers would be infringing on their right to a family private life, aka Article 8 of the Human Rights Act. Well, allow me to dismantle that in less than 10 seconds, starting now. Did they consider the human rights of their victims? No? Why do I care about their human fucking rights then? And if someone like me can dismantle that shit in less than 10 seconds, does it stand to reason that I think a good 60% of the population would be able to do that shit? Because that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Did these fuckers who go around committing acts of rape, acts of murder, acts of thievery, robbery, drug dealing, whatever? And I think you'll find that the answer to that question in 999 out of 1,000 cases is going to be a big, resounding no. Could you imagine if I went to another country and I decided to rob a bank? Yes, even in my fucking state. And I'd be going all the fucking time because I wouldn't be able to run very fast. Anyway, imagine if I went to another country and I wanted to rob a bank. And then after that shit, the court then came out and said, well, you're not allowed to deport this man because it would be infringing on his human rights. No! That would never happen. In a normal, sane world, most ordinary people would say, we don't give a shit, lock him up, lock his cage, throw away the key. I would expect it with me or anyone else. This is the problem right now. As long as we are part with the European cunts, Court of Human Rights, or maybe I was right first time, as long as we're part of them, we can't do anything that protects our borders, our national security, or stops terrorists from being able to stay here. Now, suffice to say, I think a lot of ordinary people would have a fucking problem with that, would they not? And any person who says to me that these terrorists have a right to stay here, I would recommend they go visit their local GP and get themselves checked out from the neck up. The way I look at it, there's only one country, and I say one, and I mean one country, that should dictate whether terrorists stay in their country, whether their borders are protected, what laws they should be following, or whether or not something is inhumane. Do you want to know what country that is? Themselves. And by that I mean United Kingdom should be the only ones responsible for their people and their borders and terrorism and national security and all that shit. Likewise, Spain should be responsible for its own security, well-being, borders, and whether or not terrorists get deported. America should be responsible for all those things. Russia should be responsible for all its own things. Just to name a few countries. It should not be down to what I would consider unelected judges over in whatever fucking country this ECHR is at, because they have no right to be meddling in our fucking affairs. But the trouble is, we've got a spineless politician or prime minister or whatever running our country right now that effectively says, bollocks, I don't care, we'll follow the rules, when these guys have no right to it. That's what it boils down to. And if you can't see the wood from the trees, then you have a big fucking problem. But of course the mainstream media won't tell you this, because, say it with me folks, it doesn't suit the narrative. But I fundamentally believe, at the end of the day, we should be governing ourselves, not some twats over in another country. They do not know our security, they do not know our borders, they do not control our borders, and they do not have the right to tell us who we can and can't deport. How would they like it, I wonder, if we started telling them what to do, Someone like to explain that to me? I bet they wouldn't be very fucking happy at all. How would the court like it if we told them how to dictate their own fucking laws? Oh, I guarantee you they'd be telling you to piss off in an instant. But that's essentially what it comes down to. We're being told what to do by people who have no right to tell us what to do, and our Prime Minister is too fucking gutless to tell them to jog on. So the sooner we vote a party that's actually going to care for its citizens, that's not going to take any shit from the European Court, and is actually going to take control of our borders, our national security, and kick out those who serve no purpose but ill in our country, until we do that, we're going to keep going down the pan. That's all it comes down to. Which is why I will be voting reform when the time comes. I will see to that. And when I do, I hope that we'll have a resounding victory as we get rid of the people in the houses of treachery, I mean Parliament, or maybe I was right first time, who basically serve themselves and not the people they're supposed to govern. Once we do that, and we stick two fingers up at the ECHR, maybe then Britain can get back to being a self-governing, self-sustaining, and high-security island that this country can be, where we get rid of the illegals that have no legal or human right to be here, we deport all the terrorists that are in our country, or even better still, the death penalty would suit them perfectly. Why should we cater to fucking terrorists when our prisons are full of Muslims as it is? And we can effectively start getting our finances back under control, rein in foreign aid, stop giving out aid to everyone else, and focus on ourselves. Because you know what? You can be a selfish country and survive. You can be a selfish country and still think about other people, but you need to worry about your country first. That's what it boils down to. Only when you're able to stand on your own 2 feet can you safely say, yes, we can go and support other people now. Until then, like I said, we need to vote in a party that cares for Britain, first and foremost, and tell the ECHR to go fuck itself as far as its own rules and logic is concerned. Because if terrorists, illegal immigrants, and people who are threats to national security don't care about our human rights, why the fuck should we care about theirs?